Ready.
All right, so hi, I'm Jacob Powell. Welcome to my blog. We're gonna go over first of all my videos. I'm crazy. In this first one, just kind of the introductory, I'm gonna talk about 3 different types of clubs. We got our blades. It's gonna look like that. You can get a good look at it. It is not, there's no cavity to it. There isn't much meat there. And it has, looks like a butter knife. You could cut someone with that. That is the blade. I'm going to be hitting an MP5 fitting club out of everything. So that is our blade. We'll work with that in a little bit. Our second one is a split cavity, per se. It still has some meat like a blade does, but it gives you a little forgiveness. This is the AP2 Titleist 2014 edition. You can see that right here is where that cavity is on it. It is still pretty thin on this one. Every brand has their different thing, but for today we're going to be working with this. And it's a little bigger top line, not too much to it. I'd almost say the MP5 has a meatier bottom to it, but yeah, that's something else. And that one's going to give you a little bit more forgiveness with that cavity. And then our game improvement, top of the line, this thing will make you better and hitting it straight and far. This is an old steelhead. Yeah, I know they got new ones out, but for the heck of it, we're going to look at this. It has a gigantic cavity in there, which is to take weight from the back of the club, pushing it out to the sides so that your sweet spot gets a little bigger. Actually, it gets a hell of a lot bigger, but, you know, that's forgiveness, baby. And looking at this one's a lot chunkier. Not as chunky as some clubs that you see these days, but still got a little bit of heft to it. Now, to look at how all of these, I'll have you come, let's come right up to the front here. To look at all these play next to each other, we got the blade in the front, we got our second kind of player tier, not so much game improvement as gives you a little bit of forgiveness while being workable. This is the AP2 Mizuno blade, and then the steelhead in the back. And as you can see, the steelhead is bigger, has a bigger top line than the other two. Not by much though, so I'll give Callaway it there. One other thing you should notice, when we look at all different parts of this, and if you really want to even get close here, right here, here, and here, where that club meets the neck, you can see offset in this club. It comes up and over. So it's almost aimed that way a little bit more than these other two. That's where you get your offset in your clubs. Yeah, I know. I'm not some big guy. I don't have my own range. We're in my garage for the sake of everything. But I'm trying my best to explain to you some of the things that they don't necessarily hit on the greatest. So when we see that offset, it's really how this neck connects to the blade, to the cavity back, to the club. With our blade here, and we'll go into this a little more right now. So the blade is and has been the traditional design for the better players. What that means, well, it's a changing age, but what it used to mean is that you have nothing to help you back here. The sweet spot of this club is right about there, and it is small. It's about the size of a dime, maybe a nickel. If you hit it clean, it's gonna go everywhere you need it to go. And because there's not much to this, there's not much cavity, this ball is gonna spin much more than these other two clubs. And when it spins and it hits the green, it's gonna stop much more consistently and much quicker than something like our Callaway here. Our Callaway does not spin to the same degree this club does. But what does spin do? Okay, so if I swing both of these clubs and I hit the same shot, let's say they're the same club, the same number on the club. So they're both pitching wedges, the same shaft, same everything, but they have different head designs. Okay, so this head on this is going to spin much higher because it is the blade. Okay, pitching wedge is not a good idea. Not a good number to go with. Let's say it's a 6 iron or 7 iron. 7 iron is what everybody uses, so I can relate a little better here. With the 7 iron, this thing's going to be spinning at about 7,000 revolutions per minute, as they say. When you hit the shot and the ball goes, it's spinning so much that it's not going to carry as far as necessarily your game improvement club. But when it hits that green, it's going to catch. It's going to catch like an egg hitting the side of a stove. It's just going to sit. Comparably to this game improvement club, where when you hit it, when you hit it and it goes, it's going to be spinning. So if that one's spinning at 7,000 revs, this one's going to be spinning at like 5. So when it hits the green out there, instead of catching as quickly as that one, it's going to roll off. The trade-off between these two clubs is that this one is going to make it much easier to keep it straight, whereas this one's going to be much easier to catch the green, keep the ball where you want it to be, play, work with it. You can hit a fade, you can hit a draw with this club with ease. This one, it's a little more work and you don't necessarily get as heavy of a fade or a draw with it. So I want everyone just kind of look at that. So when you see these different designs, and everyone says you need to hit a blade. It has so much work to it. It's so much easier to keep it on the green. Well, you know, if you can get it on the green, you're giving yourself a chance. Always remember that. But when we look at these two clubs, they're so different in what they do. This one's going to keep you straight. This one's going to get it working. This one's going to go farther. Why is it going to go farther? Because you have a bigger sweet spot and you have more weight around the outside. So it is designed just to go. Odds are also the loft, so the angle that these two sit. So if this was a pitch, or if this was a 6 iron or a 7 iron, let's say, this 7 iron's like 60 or 35 degrees, 35 degrees long. This one's almost 30 in theory, or at least what I'm seeing these days. So that loft is going to result to a longer ball. Doesn't necessarily make it a good ball. Yeah, that's up to you to find out. Now the one club I haven't hit too much on is this tweener one. And I say tweener because you have the great player club, you got game improvement for the struggler, or even I'd hit those steel heads. They're fun to hit. And that's something that I think a lot of people forget in golf. If you're not having fun hitting the shot, why hit it? You can go out and have the blades, and every time you make that shot, you go up and you whack it, it's a slice, and you're angry. Are you enjoying the game? Well, I don't think so. But if you go out with game improvement clubs and you're having fun, is that bad? Maybe you're not keeping the greens like you'd like, or maybe you're not hitting it to the same degree. You are still able to have fun and keep it straight. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Now looking at this club, and this is the club that I think we're going to finish up on today. You have, as I said before, it has that cavity, just like the Callaway Steelhead. It's a cavity to push weight from this area that the blade normally would have just full piece. It's going to push the weight to the outside, creating a bigger sweet spot in here, so that you're going to have a larger area to hit off. But it also has this part, and I don't know if this is hollow on this one or if it's a full piece. Can't get back to you on that. Well, I might get back to you, I don't know yet. But depends how popular this blog gets. This club is the best of both worlds because it gives you a considerable amount of spin with the fact that this is a full piece of metal, at least I believe it to be. And it does have a small cavity, giving you that forgiveness. This club's a great club. If you're looking for the best of both worlds, you want to work it while also hitting a straight shot, this is going to give you everything you want. This is almost what the game's coming to these days. The blades are going out of business. And in another video, I'll hit on forged and non-forged. But for today, I think that's all we're going to go over.